We've got the video cameras to look at. More video cameras. There's a whole range here. We've got the National WVP-30N. We've got the National WVP-50N. And then we got WVP-55N. And we're going to start off with the 30N today, and then in the next video we'll go to 50 and then 55, and then I think we've got WVP-100, maybe another one, not sure, in this series. So put these out of the way. This one here is in like pristine condition, like barely touched. Look at that next time. And of the 30s, today we're going to look at WVP-30, and there's two of them. This camera, this type of camera from this era, just a camera, like a lot of the ones we've been investigating. It's a video camera, it doesn't do anything else. It's got a pretty exciting slide zoom lens. That, yeah, removable lens, so maybe there were some different options, as we saw. Yeah, interesting slide zoom lens. Oh no, look, there is a macro on it. When you get it all the way to there, then the focus turns into macro. Okay, that's interesting way of doing it. Wide angle tele. There's a sad looking microphone on the top there. It's foam mushed away. There is indoor outdoor setting, which feels a bit bad. Yeah, I think that might be not functioning. We should put a color filter in front, like into the image path. There's a white balance set, which I think that again will put a filter in front of the lens like we'd seen on some previous cameras. There's a color balance adjustment between red and blue with a little knob there. The VTR start stop trigger is there, but this handle, pistol grip handle, can fold back to expose the tripod attachment, the thread there, the polarity for the VCR recording, and yeah, the start stop button's there. The trigger just pushes against it, clicks into place. There's a wrist strap. It says it draws 3.9 watts at 12 volts. Pretty good, I think. And the serial number was under that. Now, coming around the back, we've got a decent sized CRT viewfinder there. A power indicator, standby on switch. There's a couple of LEDs in the viewfinder, indoor indicator orange, low light orange, and record red LEDs. And then around on this side, VTR remote. Earphone, external microphone connectors, but look at that, VTR remote. So these cameras have some regular 10-pin camera plug used by all of the video cameras of the day, except for Sony, which decided to make their own version, which is not compatible as usual. So I feel this range of VCRs would have been used with the NV-100 or that other one, which is between the 100 and the 180. This is standard VHS. Battery in there. On the side, there's the camera connector. Let's plug your camera into there. And then carry this around a little bag with a shoulder strap or by this handle and do your recording. Okay, so what I just saw, I ran away to get this. Look at that, this is the original wired remote that would go with this VCR. And that plugs into there. And then you get access to these controls from, I don't know, some 5 meters away. And you also get additional controls, which is the slow motion has a speed control to it, faster or slower slow motion, which you don't get on here. So that unlocks additional features. Pretty sure that's true. Pretty sure this is the one that goes with this model. Review and queue are independent of rewind and fast forward, whereas they're the same there. So pushing that would stop it and rewind, or stop it and fast forward. Pause, still advance. Ah, look at that. There's no still advance on here. Although maybe the slow would do that function when it's in pause mode. Not sure. But so that's the type of VCR the camera would be used with. I covered those VCRs previously, and yeah, they pretty much never work. So there's a VTR remote plug here, so I thought maybe you can just plug that in there, but it looks like that is not what you do, and there must be a different type of remote for this camera. Oh well. Right, the other way you can power these up and use them, since they only have this plug on them, is use an AC adapter like this, which will allow you to connect the camera here, and then it has a power transformer in it, plug it in, and then it gives you the video and audio output on connectors here. So that's what we're going to do to test out this camera today. We'll try them both, see what they're like, and then we'll take one apart and see if it works, see what's inside. Okay, let's get the recording thing open. Okay, if we put it on, let's just put it onto on, and then we'll start this, and we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, look at that. Stuff happened. I'm fully zoomed in right then. Oh, I had the white balance set thing on. But look at that, it's got a picture. Sort of mushy picture, but still functioning. Colors quite dull. Need like a color test chart sort of thing. Does it show red? Yeah, it's a kind of orange color. Bluey, green, yellowy colors. Not too bad. No power zoom on this, no autofocus. You just got to do it all yourself by managing this, turning and pulling the lens. So indoor-outdoor filter, I think that's broken. That doesn't do anything. And then white balance, as we saw, put on something white, and presumably that's setting the white balance. And then there's that color tint control. Oh yeah, look at that, more red or more blue. Viewfinder in the back. It's working, so that's nice. Okay, so this one seems to be all good except for that indoor-outdoor filter. So let's power that down, and we'll try the other one. See what that's like. Make sure it's not on white balance. So if it comes up, it will actually start straight away, and we'll be able to see the picture come in. Alright, let's go. Comes up pretty quick. Do the white balance. And then does the indoor-outdoor filter work? Oh yeah, look at that. So indoor, it must have an ND filter as well, because you see the picture goes quite a bit brighter when you put it in indoor mode. Interesting, there's no iris control on this, or no user accessible iris control. Guess this one works more than the other one because the filters are okay. Right, so let's leave this one as it is, and we'll take apart the other one for an investigation. See what good things are inside this. First step, let's take the lens off and see what that's like. So there's a little levery thing there which pushes in. Oh. There you go. So that orangey filter does not move out of the way. So that should be up now in the outdoor mode. Oh no, there we go, look at that. It sort of bent itself back into life. Maybe something's been thrust into this and bent those. It's a bit dusty. Not too bad. Yeah, so that's sort of back in action now. So this lens, the only thing in here will be the iris, because so that's just an iris thing. Let's see what kind of screws that it's got. Not really sure how much of this lens mount. Which order do you take these screws off? Just loosen them and see what happens. Guessing some of these are short screws that just hold that silvery ring onto the black anodized part, and other ones are really long ones that hold then the whole thing down. Yeah, there's what's happening. Different length of screws, short ones and long ones. So maybe I should have left the short ones done up, now that we know which ones they are. And then this should pull off. Oh, look at that. So there's a small circuit board that goes around there. And that has a little flex coming off of it. It goes into that motor thing. But it also has wires coming off of it. 4 wires. Don't know what all that extra stuff is for. Maybe it's just the iris controlling circuit. I wonder who made this, whether this was a Panasonic thing. TV slide zoom lens. 9 to 54mm. It's just a little bit of stuff. Basically some resistors, electrolytic capacitor, then probably an op amp or something on that side, the surface mount side, and some variable resistors. It doesn't seem to have any extra sensing as part of the lens. It's just there as a little signal processing or buffering thing. Interesting. If we undid this, would that take this whole box off the lens? Yes, but it leaves that stuff anyway. That'll be fine. Okay, let's just pop that back together. Serial number on that. Quite a long number. Alright, let's get into this and see what's going on in here. That lens screws are all number 0. These will be number 1. Looks like the sides will come off pretty easily. Oops. Very slippery. Yeah, that just hooks in. Oh, that genuine bodges straight away. You know it's going to be good. This top piece probably comes off, unhooks somehow. Oh yeah, look, there's 2 screws in there for the lens part for the viewfinder. This side, there's a bit of a crack. To indicate presence of high voltage, arc anode lead to leaf spring for CRT. Serviceman X radiation precaution. Critical electrical and mechanical parts essential for X-ray For X radiation protection, refer to service manual for specific instructions. Nominal high voltage is 4 kV for a very dim picture and must not exceed 6 kV at 0 beam current. To measure HV, use a high impedance HV meter, connect negative to earth on print circuit board and plus to the CRT anode button. You gotta use a high impedance voltmeter, otherwise you're gonna be like loading down the high voltage power supply that you're trying to measure, and you'll end up with measuring a lower voltage than what it actually is. Don't really know what counts as high impedance, like 100 meg? Probably, that would be pretty low current flow. Screw hiding behind the microphone there. Oh, look at that. Plug to undo the microphone. Look at that, now we can see the CRT and a little thing just hanging out in there. Probably still has high voltage on it. First we should discharge it. Get a fairly high voltage rated wire, connect it to a flat screwdriver that has an insulated handle, and then we'll connect the wire, clip lead wire, to the ground of the tube, and then we'll just slide this in under the anode cap there. And if there is high voltage there, we should hear a little crack. Should be. Either it's discharged itself or it wasn't enough to actually hear it. I can see down in there now to the contact, so I've definitely touched it. This is clip lead's bung. Yeah, you got to make sure that that is definitely grounded when you go to use it, otherwise you might find it arcs onto you, especially with big CRTs that have a really high voltage in them. Okay, so that should all be safe to touch then. It's because a capacitor is formed between the conductive coating on the outside of the tube and the conductive coating on the inside, which you can see is the silver there. Forms a pretty nice, efficient, low impedance capacitor. Glass is the dielectric. Now, opening up this side, see what good business is in there. A lot of surface mount parts on that side. Looks like a regular, like FR4 fiberglass type double-sided board. Plated through, it's got wires. Most of the stuff is in a soldered shut, shielded box there. Interesting that part's on little wires. Maybe it's too tall or causes interference. Is it just electrolytic? Might be a little inductor. Can't see the designator. Maybe it's a light bulb. The designator in there does look like the little curly thing like would be a light bulb. Why would that be there? All those are LEDs on the back, so it's not one of those. Weird. Guess that doesn't open very far. Oh, there you go, if you hook it in right. Yeah, so there's some of those like papery insulated flex cables there, like ribbon cables going to the other side. There's arrays of trimmers, individual trimmers, delay line. These are all good video processing circuit. There's a shielded wire that comes in to a connector that's up on legs. Maybe they've bodged extra stuff in here which has made it taller, so they had to off-board that and this. You see, there is another board in there with a chip on it. Maybe that's some kind of bodge. Hitachi brand tube, or at least deflection circuit. Let's have a go on this side. There's actually a modification on this board. Look at that, this one's blue solder mask. That's fancy. Green on that side, blue on this side. Who'd have known? There is a track has been sliced through there. Interesting, not sure why. Some kind of modification or a mistake in the design. Also there, it's been cut through there. If it was a mistake in the design, let's say did a massive run of boards, they would put a mark in the negatives that get exposed to etch the board, so it would just be there as part of the thing rather than having to cut it later on. Yeah, just be there as part of the thing. Yes, they'll modify the artwork by putting an extra bit of tape over it or peeling something off, slicing it, depending on if it's negative or positive. Okay, so this side here is the high voltage deflection power supply business. And the back end of the tube is all sealed away in this box. You can see there various high voltage wires are going into that box. Flyback transformer there to generate the high voltage. There's one of the wires is going up there to the CRT, and then others going in for the camera pickup tube. Just wondering, do you think we can pull this out? Looks like it might all have to be done from up here. There's screws going down. Look at that, there's a lens eject button. Little pin, which must click into the notch. Must click into the notch like that. Castings hold everything in the right place. I think the lens mount and what aligns the tube. There's not really much more we can pull apart of this without completely ruining it all. How much do we want to see what's beyond these metal cases? Probably quite a lot. The connector at the back of the CRT. The deflection coils for the CRT, the viewfinder. Get that out of the way. I'm wondering if we can pop that little thing open and have a look at the end of the pickup tube. We have to take off these screws down here as well. Oh, there it is. There is the end of the pickup tube. And white thing there, the socket connects the wires onto the end of it. There's a massive film cap in there. Yeah, good thing. Probably won't pull this apart any more than this, because you don't really need to. Yeah, that's come off completely now, which it didn't want to do before. This camera seemed to be in reasonable working order, so perhaps we'll leave it that way. Now that that little thing is bent out of the way properly. What? Now that the little filter thing is functioning again. Outdoor filter? Indoor, outdoor filter. Although there is a bit of a stench in here, so I don't think it's completely good. Like ultra tiny ring terminals. I'm going to get all the ground wires through the screw. Okay. Pretty good. And so those wires there will be the deflection for the pickup tube. And then there'll be the amplifier, the preamp off the end of the tube. Where's that hiding? I think that's in a cast box below it. Possibly what that orange multiply shielded wire is. Maybe also that grey one. Probably going in there would be the little preamp FET circuit. Plug that back on. And work out which way round it goes. There we go. Little hinged plastic things that the board is attached with. Oh, somehow that was just lined up and went straight in. Guessing there's a bias light with the tube. Red and black wires there going into it. Probably what that is. Sure, that's going back as easily as it came out, isn't it? No. Don't even know which screws. Those three with that plastic front thing. Ah, okay, so the boards on screws for the boards on the other side are retained, so that's the screws for this side. Okay. We're done, are we? We're putting back together? Alright. Oh, the microphone plugged in there, didn't it? Be careful to put that back. Okay, good bodges, a lot of surface mount parts on that, on the solder side of the board, as well as ICs which have look like they're being wave soldered. Don't know about date codes of this thing. Yeah, they're all Japanese ICs, so can't easily see the date on those. I'd suggest early 80s for this. That's all good now. It's just a little bit bent. Now it's less bent. Ooh, just let a bit of a brush out because it's full of crud around those switches. Okay, it's screwed back together. Now microphone. Move this handle out of the way so it will sit nicely on the table so we can get this back. I wonder if there's... Yeah, it's not removable from that end. And yeah, the microphone does screw down the panel as well as itself. I wonder if that shielding, that copper strip thing, is also to do with avoiding coupling noise into the microphone circuit. Slightly shorter of the 3 long screws for there. Okay, so almost done. Side panels. Yeah, it doesn't want to go in for some reason. Just needs to slide over a little bit. Right, and finally we'll chuck the lens back on. Red mark, red dot. That's all we need to do. Just like that. Plug the wire in. I wonder if that's the same connector as that. Might be. We need to find out. Not really. Let's just do it anyway. Yeah, it is. That's good. Awesome. Let's just give this a little test. See how much we ruined it in the process. And then there we go. See if this thing's willing to cooperate. Oh, that white balance thing was stuck in front of it again. Interesting. Must be a thing that happens. Oh well, the indoor-outdoor filter thing is good now. So that's good. Great, we sort of repaired something. Sort of. So there you go. Hopefully that was exciting. Look inside the National Color Video Camera WVP-30 with the exciting slide zoom lens. stay tuned for next time, and we'll take a look inside the WVP-30 camera. Probably going to be almost identical, but anyway, we're going to do it anyway because we've got to get through all this stuff. Just stick around and see you then.